Welcome to the very first episode of...
Today, we're going to be discussing music, and more specifically, albums. We got to figure out, are albums becoming a thing of the past? When you look around in the world today, is it any different from when albums first started being released way back in the 1900s? I don't know. When did music really start? It's always been a thing, but like when people started making albums and things, like is it any different now?
Yeah.
What's going on with the albums?
Yeah, something I realize is, when you walk around and talk to people, most people don't say, oh, I love this album. It's more of like, I love this song, It's just not something people say is like the album, They more focus on a specific song more than the album.
That's a good point. Yeah. So how do we think how are albums becoming a thing of the past? What's causing albums to kind of not be in the main scene anymore?
Yeah, I think one thing that is definitely getting rid of them is the streaming part, because I just feel like they, you are able to skip songs so much easier than you were able to on like records per se, because usually you would just want to listen to the whole thing and have some kind of experience. But now these days you can just be like, oh, I don't like this song when you hear the first 3 seconds, and maybe you did, but you just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like kind of ties into a convenience sort of thing. Like it's easier to just listen to a song and be like, I don't like it, I can easily skip it. But back then, of course, like with records and things, you had to actually pick up the needle and like move it and just drop it.
Exactly. Yes.
So like I think we've been spoiled with the convenience of skipping through and going back and forth from songs that we like and that we don't like. And it kind of just disrupts the flow of an album in its original state.
Yeah. And I mean, not only that, but like, with the whole scrolling and dopamine kind of crap, you don't have time to listen to a whole album. That's too long. You listen to one song and you're done. I don't got time for a whole album. So
that's a good point.
So, I was thinking, what are the benefits of listening to an album rather than a playlist? Because of the people with, zero brain cells depleting as they're scrolling through this. So
yeah, like why are albums important in the first place? I think one of the main things is a lot of times it's the way that albums are kind of constructed, the way that the songs are organized and how they all kind of play in each other. It really provides like an experience from the artist. Like the artist intended for those songs to be in a specific order for you to hear them all. And it kind of creates this experience like that you don't really get sometimes from shuffling a playlist.
Yeah, I think it's one beautifully crafted story that you have to like, in order to get the full story, listen to the album, or else you'll just get parts of the story. If you're just listening to certain songs, you won't understand the full picture of what the artist intended if you're just, listening to 1 or 2 songs from that playlist or album.
Actually, I'll give an example on like how an album is kind of an experience. There are some albums that I listen to that have songs on them where at the end of one song, it literally just fades into the other one and they match up perfectly when they're played together. And when you listen to them separate, it's almost like, why did this song just like end like that? But then you listen to the other one and the way it starts, when you put them together, it creates this like almost like a double song. It's
beautiful cool transition.
Yes.
Like you don't get that with any just listening to the song itself. So
yeah. And you brought up playlists and how those are being like really implemented more in streaming services.
Yeah.
You don't really go out and buy a playlist. Like they're just kind of made for you, especially with like Spotify. You can open up Spotify and there's like a billion playlists for every mood you could ever be in. Like
they probably recommend more playlists than they do albums to people. Like
just
they don't even care about albums.
And when you get kind of used to listening to playlists and things like that, you don't really think about only listening to one artist for 30 minutes. You're thinking like, who's coming next after this and what song's next? It's just kind of like, which there's nothing wrong with listening to playlists, but we're talking about like why are albums kind of not really on the scene anymore.
You just don't get that same experience with a playlist, you just like it's nice and cool, but like it's just a entire experience listening to a full album. Really it's different. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to playlists. It's just just try and experience an album because it's way different.
It also helps with your attention span.
So people who are having their brain rot out there,
Yeah.
like listen to an album.
Listen to an album
It helps.
all the way through. You feel so accomplished. Actually, there's one album that I really love, and I'll put it on when I'm working or something, and it has like 20 songs on it, so it ends up being like almost an hour long. But like after the last song ends, I feel like I watched an entire movie. It feels like an entire like. I guess the next thing to add to kind of while we're talking about albums is, does physical media play a role in it? Like how does physical media, whether it be CDs, records, cassettes, any form, something that you can hold in your hand, does it affect the way we listen to music? And if so, how?
I think it absolutely affects the way you listen to music. I think one thing that's great is you support the artist listening and like buying those kind of things. It really helps them out rather than just like listening to their song, which is also good. But if like you have the money, I love supporting artists that I like because it just I feel like it helps it out so much. But yeah, just having that physical media, it also feels like you're kind of like, it feels like you're just like a part of something when you buy it. Like you're a part of the people who bought that specific thing, and you just kind of feel, instead of just listening to that one song where you don't really, I don't know. Yeah. And, obviously, like we said, it's just, you don't really, when you buy that kind of stuff, you don't really want to like skip over it and stuff like that. You kind of want to listen to the full thing. It's like an experience, having it, holding it, like you want to listen to the whole thing. Also want to get your money's worth of listening to the whole thing.
You have the album in your hands. You're not going to skip one song. Like, you want to hear the whole thing. Like, what did I buy? What's on this thing?
So,
and
opens your eyes to the album more.
It's so enlightening. Not to mention, physical media is awesome. Like, look, you can like hold.
You can hold it. You can be like, I own this.
Take it with you. Yeah.
They can strip that music off of the social media platforms, and you can have it forever.
You can lose your Spotify Premium membership, but you still got that CD.
You still got that CD with no ads.
No ads at all. So I think that's a big thing.
Also, another plus is a lot of times they'll have like posters or like all these other cool things in them that you can have with it too. So you like get a lot of bonuses usually buying physical media and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of my favorite albums I bought on CD a while ago had a poster in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, you don't really get it. You can't get a poster with
you can't get a poster from your phone.
Like, what would that even look like?
Imagine they'll be like, you got a poster, and you can like just like have it on your phone, or like in Spotify you'll just have a poster on your phone.
That actually would be kind of cool though. Imagine like
don't get them ideas.
You listen to hear me out. You listen to an entire album online, so maybe it's like on Spotify you listen to the whole album, and it'll give you like a cool wallpaper.
It'll give you, every time you listen to the album, the background will be different.
Yeah,
like your poster.
I think that's pretty cool. One other thing that I thought about just sitting here was live performances. When you go and see artists now, do they usually, when an artist releases an album, they'll go on tour to promote it, so people will go and listen to it. But with people's kind of attention spans now and how people listen to music, like I don't know if they could stomach the artist singing like an entire 30 minutes of one album. Like they probably, I think a lot of times when you go to see an artist, you want to see their top songs. You're like, oh, I want them to play Espresso.
Espresso, boy, Espresso.
Like you're familiar with. And I just wonder, like, with people listening to less and less albums all the way through, like how that affects live shows, whether they play all the songs on an album or just pick their most popular ones that came out of it. Or, just how that affects, like, live events,
I think the bonus to listening to a whole album is you go on their tour, now you can sing every single song. Exactly. You don't sit there, you're not sitting there being like, oh, when are they going to play the song? I don't know any of these. You'll know every single one of them, and you can party to all of them. So, like, I mean, that's totally a bonus.
That's a big point. Yeah, that's good right there. So not to say, to make this very clear, we definitely love playlist here. I can always use a good, like, upbeat mix, all, like, the white American music like Piano Man and Bohemian Rhapsody, all those songs that are like just super popular. Those are all fun. But like, have you ever listened to the other songs on the same record as like the most popular one? Like, think of a popular song. What's a super popular song that like literally everybody knows?
Espresso.
Espresso? All right. How many of you out there have listened to the entire album that Espresso is on?
Short
Probably
and
a
sweet.
lot of people.
How many of people? Probably, honestly, a lot of people. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I guess trying to think of like a
Think
more.
of like an older song that's super popular. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Everybody knows that song. Mama, ooh. Have you ever listened to any of the other songs on that album?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But I believe that they are all bangers. So that's an interesting like experiment to try. Like, find one of your favorite songs, and then listen to the entire album that it's on, and see what you think of the other ones. I mean, you might like them, and you might hate them. And if you do like not like them, then try listening to it a couple times and see like how you feel after that. Because I can think of more than one instance where I listened to an entire album by an artist, and there was like, okay, so I only like 3 songs off of this album. And then after going back and listening to it several times, I like found a couple other songs that I was
opens
like,
your
oh my
eyes.
gosh, these are so good. Why did I skip over these?
Yeah. So that definitely do like if you listen to the album, like don't even like listen to the first 5 seconds and be like, oh, I don't like this. Like listen to all the songs all the way through. Listen to the
Yeah.
whole album to get like kind of like the whole experience, and kind of then you can kind of tell whether you like songs
like,
on
give
it or
a
not.
chance.
You know?
Sometimes it's hard because you're like, this song sounds kind of dumb. I don't think I'm going to like it. But if you listen to the whole thing, you might discover it's actually your new favorite song.
Also, don't just like skip to the chorus either. Like I've done that before, and like skip
to the chorus is crazy.
like just like I like usually I'll just like sit there and be like, I'm just gonna skip to the chorus, and if I don't like the chorus, then I don't like the song. But you shouldn't do that.
You mean when you're
'cause-
listening to like new music?
Yeah,
I get what
listen
you
to
mean.
new music because it's like you almost don't want to. But honestly, like the verses and stuff, they can be really good sometimes, and you just kind of like I said, you gotta listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the chorus, just give it a chance. Listen to the song completely all the way through, and then give your opinion on it. Because I feel like you can't say whether you like it or not if you haven't listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, sometimes I'm guilty of this when my friends send me songs and they're like, this is so good. I'll be like, okay, I listened to the first 5 seconds and then skip like halfway.
Yes, literally.
Like, oh, that's
literally.
the chorus. Okay. And then I judge it based off of that. But,
you can't really, you gotta listen to the full thing.
Like, think of artists that you enjoy and go listen like to their entire discography. Maybe they have like 1 album, or maybe they have like 30. If you got the time, listen to 30 albums. It's good to listen to albums. It almost feels like reading a book sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when you know that like feeling when you complete an entire book. Like that's kind of what it feels like when you finish a whole album. You're like, dang, I listened to all the songs on here.
Yeah.
So
give albums a shot. And also give physical media a shot if you like it.
Yes.
It's fun to collect. It's fun to have, to like feel like you own the album, instead of just listening to it and it could just vanish if you don't pay for it.
Yep, you can lose your Spotify subscription and your Apple Music.
Your Apple Music, whatever
it is, I don't know. You can lose all that, but as long as you have your physical media and something to play it with, then it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless someone breaks into your house, then you might have a problem with it.
Or you lose it, or you end up like it just doesn't work anymore, but
And something I was also thinking about, like now that I'm sitting here, is I wonder if, since we're seeing such an incline of like playlists being made, and like there's Spotify has one playlist where it's the top 100, and it's just 100 songs that are the most popular right now, and people usually like click on that and listen to those. Those are the songs that get pushed into mainstream. I wonder if we're gonna start seeing artists release more and more singles instead of albums. Because I think sometimes an album can look intimidating. Like when you release an album, it's like 12 songs with the same album cover. But then when you see singles, it's like, ooh, look at all these like little nuggets of songs to listen to.
It's almost like try to think it from the artist's point of view. Like these singles now are the things that are getting me what I need and stuff like that. So it's like, why even spend the time trying to make an album when I could just make singles?
If you can like release 3 singles and get the same result from releasing an entire album, then obviously it's going to come down to just releasing singles and EPs and just like short stuff like that.
So help out the artists.
We need to help them out. Listen to their albums all the way through.
So they can make more albums. We don't want a world full of singles.
Yes, exactly.
We want experiences.
We need more albums out there. There's also the element of like social media when a song becomes popular through social media, like TikTok. Like imagine like somebody puts the song over their
Yeah.
TikTok and it blows up, and then that song is super popular, but you never check out any of the other stuff the artist has. It's actually kind of damaging to the artist because if you like hear one song and then like them, like go to Spotify and you follow them for that one song, and then the rest of their music doesn't get any like love, then they're gaining followers but for only one song, and then
Yeah, that
that's pretty
happens
rough.
to a lot of artists these
Yeah.
days where they just have one song blow up and then you don't even know their name.
And
You
then
just
you
know
never
their
hear
song.
them again. They're just gone.
Yeah, and so I almost and like even to add to that, I feel like their artists want to make more catchy songs, even more than like poetic, because those are the things that are gonna people to use it on their
Yo, that actually hits hard.
reels
You're
and stuff
right.
like that, which is also sad because I think you want to be able to feel something when listening to songs, not just like freaking like. Don't you want me like I want you, baby? Don't you like very appetapati or whatever, like that's meaningless. I mean, it's catchy and it's cool, and if it's your vibe, then yay. But like, I also want songs where you feel something, and those usually don't get as popular because
that's a really good point. Yeah, actually, like now that you bring that up, it's a huge thing. Actually, is if artists are like, so like what we talked about earlier was like listening to an entire album. Sometimes it's like an experience in itself. It kind of takes you through highs and lows. There's this one album I love specifically where the beginning starts super like upbeat and then it slowly fades into this like more sadder, like melodramatic kind of sound, and it's really beautiful. But most of the songs that are popular on there are the upbeat ones because nobody really listens to the sad ones.
No one listens to like.
So if artists are only making the most catchy songs, then that kind of like really strips them of like their full potential. Like if they have the potential to make a really poetic, like dramatic song, they might not even get that chance because they have to feed what the people want, which is just short, catchy songs.
Those are catchy songs that are like a minute and 30 seconds and like have like 4 choruses for some reason.
It's right now, like the way we're talking about it, it's all like feeding back into how our brains are rotting.
Yes, literally.
And how we don't have the attention span for anything anymore.
So honestly, that's kind of like the real reason why albums, aren't as popular.
That's our answer. Is like our brains are getting smaller, and we need to listen to more albums, to really enjoy like music in its whole.
Yeah, and I think it's something that could help you if you're like struggling with having that short attention span, like, and you're trying to get off that. Like, I think listening to albums could help with that because you need to listen to the full thing. So you know,
that's true.
That could be helpful.
Yeah, it's good to consume like full length things.
Take your time.
Yeah, Not to say there's anything wrong with playlists. I do not want anybody to listen to this and then be like, we're gonna get flamed. I can never listen to a playlist ever again.
Wow, never listening to a playlist. No, personally, I honestly like listen
I love playlists.
to a playlist I have. I usually only listen to that, but like I also love to take time out and listen to full albums because I think it's good. And
I'll tell you something I used to do was I'd hear an album, or I'd listen to an album, I'd pick like the 5 songs that I liked out of it and put it in a playlist so it was only the ones I liked. And then later I went back and listened to the entire album and I was like, why did I like not hear about all these bangers? It's because I didn't give them a chance. So, give the rest of the songs a chance. And so I guess that kind of like to tie it all in really, like go listen to albums. They're great. Don't only listen to what Spotify drip feeds you. Like sometimes they'll just shove music in your face, but it's good to kind of explore. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. We'll see you next time when we discuss who knows what else.
Yeah, if this blows up, we'll make so many podcasts. So, you watch this video over and over and over
share
again.
Share this with a friend who has a tiny attention span and likes music. Get them educated on why albums are important to our society.
Exactly. Well, that's it, people. Bye-bye.
Bye.